Yes po, Doc.
Hello, good afternoon. So, are we all in already? How many are you in the class?
119 or 118 po ata, Doc. Not sure pa po.
Ang dami. Sige, okay. So this is the first time that we are meeting. So I will introduce myself. I am Dr. Maria Teresa Litas. I'm an obstetrician gynecologist. And I also do minimally invasive gynecology. So for this afternoon, I believe na tapos na kayo sa glucose, metabolism, and lipids, right? So for this afternoon, we will be starting with proteins naman and most specifically amino acids. So sa ating reference, this is the Harper's Biochem. This is short topic lang ito siya, short chapter. So basically hindi natin maubos ang oras, okay? Because this is just an introduction to our succeeding topics regarding proteins, okay? Sige. So you tell me if my slides are not moving. So yeah, nag-move. Okay naman.
Yes, Doc.
Yes po, Doc.
Okay, so as an introduction, we need essential amino acids in our diet because if these are absent or they are present in inadequate amounts from what we're eating, this can result to amino acid deficiency. So like for example, in Africa, they have conditions like the Kwashiorkor because their children are weaned off from protein diet. So their main staple is starch. So they have deficiency in the important amino acid. So another example is the condition Marasmus. So for this one, it's both the caloric intake as well as the certain specific amino acids that are deficient. So again, this results to malnutrition. So it is said that patients with short bowel syndrome are unable to absorb sufficient quantities of calories and nutrients. So that's why they suffer from significant nutritional and metabolic abnormalities. So there is a disorder we know that is scurvy. It is a deficiency of vitamin C and other specific genetic disorders. So this is associated with the impaired ability of connective tissue to form hydroxyproline and hydroxylysine. So in this condition, because there is a problem in the formation of these two amino acids, this results to conformational instability of the collagen. So this results to bleeding gums, swelling joints, and poor wound healing, and eventually this can lead to the death of an individual. There's also another syndrome, which is the Menkes syndrome. It is characterized by a kinky hair and growth retardation. So this again results from a dietary deficiency of copper, which is an essential cofactor for the enzyme lysyl oxidase, which functions in the formation of the covalent cross links that strengthen collagen fibers. And another condition, the osteogenesis imperfecta. This is a genetic disorder of the collagen biosynthesis characterized by fragile bones. So there is also another syndrome, the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So this is a group of connective tissue disorder that results in mobile joints and skin abnormalities due to defects in the genes that encode the enzyme, including the lysyl hydroxylase. So with the above conditions, the Marasmus, Kwashiorkor, Ehlers-Danlos, and the others, we can see why it is very important for some certain amino acid to be included in our diet, because lack of this amino acid can result to this certain conditions. So there are 20 common amino acids that are important to ensure our health. So 8 of this must be present in the human diet, so must be present. That's why they are called nutritionally essential, because kailangan nasa diet talaga sila. And the 12 need not be present in the diet. So, pwedeng wala sila sa diet or sa food that we are eating. So, that's why they are called nutritionally non-essential. So, this table, so this is found in your book, we can see the 20 amino acids. So, there are two columns. The one on the left side of your screen are the nutritionally essential amino acid. While here on the here on the right side is the nutritionally non-essential amino acid. The term essential here does only refers to its presence in the diet. So nutritionally essential meaning they should be present in our diet, while nutritionally non-essential means that they may not be present in our diet because our body is capable of making these certain amino acids. Okay. So the number of enzymes, so why is our body not making the nutritionally essential amino acids? Because making the nutritionally essential amino acid requires a lot of enzymes or a lot of energy. So looking at this table, as you can see, to form the cysteine, so you need 6 enzymes, yun, methionine 5 enzymes compared to the nutritionally non-essential. So that's why our body can make the nutritionally essential amino acid because the number of enzymes required to form this certain amino acid is only few. So as you can see, so we won't be wasting our energy in making this certain amino acids. So I am showing you this picture or this figure. So if you can recall, what is this? So this is the citric acid cycle or the Krebs cycle. So what is important here, that's why I'm showing this to you, because I want you to focus on this alpha-ketoglutarate. So this is a substrate, the alpha-ketoglutarate, and this can now lead to the formation of the non-essential amino acid. Okay, so from alpha-ketoglutarate, let's start with glutamate. So ayun, so the glutamate, so this is first of the non-essential, nutritionally non-essential amino acids. So we have the glutamate. So this is the precursor of the so-called glutamate family of amino acid. So as you can see, ayun, ang alpha-glutarate. So it is formed by the reductive amidation of the alpha-ketoglutarate. So ayun, so reductive amidation of the alpha-ketoglutarate with the help of the glutamate dehydrogenase. So from alpha-ketoglutarate, after amidation, so it now becomes L-glutamate. So that is how glutamate is formed in our body with the alpha-ketoglutarate as the substrate from the citric acid cycle. So next, non-essential amino acid is the glutamine. So here, as you can see from glutamate, diba, from alpha-ketoglutarate, we now have glutamate. So now the glutamate again will have amidation, this one, and with the help of the glutamine synthetase, it's an enzyme, it can now form the L-glutamine. And there is an intermediate here, intermediate product, which is the gamma-glutamyl phosphate. So yun, so from alpha-ketoglutarate, you can form glutamate, and further amidation of glutamate can result to glutamine. So yun, so that is also, that is again a formation of the non-essential amino acid. So this one, I am again showing this one to remind you. So what is this? This is the pathway for glycolysis, diba? For the glucose, diba? Glucose, it is breakdown, it undergoes glycolysis, and as an end product of the glycolysis, pyruvate is formed. And this pyruvate, from that pyruvate, ayun, so it helps in the formation of alanine of alanine. So here, pyruvate, the end product of glycolysis, undergoes transamination to form alanine. Ayun. And there's also a product here, an alpha-ketoglutarate or oxaloacetate, wherein transamination of oxaloacetate can form aspartate. So this is a reversible reaction. Yun. So we have already identified our substrates. So we have one alpha-ketoglutarate. So we can form from alpha-ketoglutarate, glutamate, and glutamine. And also another substrate from pyruvate. So we can form alanine and aspartate in the reverse process. Yun. So from that, we can deduce that the combined action of the enzymes glutamate dehydrogenase, glutamine synthetase, and aminotransferases converts inorganic ammonium ion into the alpha amino nitrogen of amino acid. So going back, if you can see this one, so yan, ammonium ion. Also this one. So it's the one, ammonium is the one here that is being used for amylation. So here, another non-essential amino acid is asparagine. So asparagine is from the conversion of aspartate, asparagine comes from aspartate, which is catalyzed by the asparagine synthetase. But here, instead na ammonium ion ang ginagamit to provide the nitrogen, it's glutamine. So glutamine rather than ammonium ion provides the nitrogen. And it also has an intermediate product, which is the aspartyl phosphate. Okay, so asparagine. So again, I am showing this pathway. This is the glycolysis, diba? So kanina, our substrate was the pyruvate. So now we can also form non-essential amino acid by getting the substrate, the 3-phosphoglycerate. And this occurs in the formation of serine. So the oxidation of the alpha hydroxyl group of this one, of the 3-phosphoglycerate. So this is, as I have said, a glycolytic intermediate, converts it to 3-phosphohydroxypyruvate. And eventually, this is catalyzed, and this reaction is catalyzed by 3-phosphoglycerate dehydrogenase. So that's the enzyme that converts this one to this one. So, and after which, this phosphohydroxypyruvate undergoes transamination and subsequent dephosphorylation, so removal of here, and eventually forming serine. Ayun. So ito siya, for serine, the substrate now is the 3-phosphoglycerate. Okay. So another non-essential amino acid is glycine. So glycine is synthesized from glyoxylate and glutamate or alanine, and this is catalyzed by glycine aminotransferases. Also, glycine can be formed from choline and serine. So here you can see end product here is glycine, and here also glycine. Then we also have proline as a non-essential amino acid. So in proline, it starts with the conversion of the carboxyl group of glutamate with the mixed acid anhydride of glutamate phosphate. Then the subsequent reduction forms glutamate gamma semialdehyde, and with spontaneous cyclization, it is reduced to proline, to L-proline. So this only takes a few enzymes in making this non-essential amino acid. Then we also have cysteine. So cysteine starts with the conversion of methionine to homocysteine. And homocysteine plus serine forms cystathionine. So this one, which undergoes hydrolysis, and this forms cysteine and homoserine. So these are the end products of this the conversion of cystathionine. Then we also have tyrosine as the non-essential amino acid. And tyrosine is formed from phenylalanine. So phenylalanine is an essential amino acid. So from phenylalanine, using the enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase, we can form tyrosine. However, tyrosine cannot be converted back to phenylalanine. So that's why phenylalanine is an essential amino acid. It is required in the diet. Then we also have the hydroxyproline and hydroxylysine. So as mentioned earlier, they occur in the collagen. So they are important because problems for this can result to problems in collagen formation. So this starts with the proline and lysine are incorporated into peptides. So to form peptidyl prolyl and peptidyl lysyl. So ayun, this one. And this is followed by hydroxylation and catalyzed by the enzyme prolyl hydroxylase and lysyl hydroxylase. And this occurs in the skin, the skeletal muscle, and granulating wounds. And this requires molecular oxygen, ascorbate, iron, and alpha-ketoglutarate. So the vitamin C now is here. So this reaction requires vitamin C. So without this, like in scurvy, so there is now the problem in the formation of our collagen. So, okay. So, ayun. So this results now to the formation of either hydroxyproline or hydroxylysine. Then we have the other non-essential amino acids, the valine, the leucine, and the isoleucine. These three can be interconverted from each other by just using aminotransferases. So from one amino acid to the other. Then we have the selenocysteine. So selenocysteine is actually the 21st amino acid, and this is present at the active site of several human enzymes that catalyze redox reactions. So example of enzymes that has selenocysteine are thioredoxine reductase, glutathione peroxidase, deiodinase. So this converts thyroxine to triiodothyronine. Impairments in human selenoproteins have been implicated in tumorigenesis and atherosclerosis and are associated with selenium deficiency, cardiomyopathy, or the Kishan disease. So that's why selenocysteine is also important. It's important that we can make this selenocysteine. Our body can make this or manufacture this selenocysteine. So the biosynthesis of the selenocysteine requires cysteine, selenate, ATP, and a specific tRNA and several enzymes. And the carbon skeleton is provided by serine. So the selenophosphate serves as the selenium donor, which is from ATP and selenate. So replacement of the serine oxygen by the selenium from selenophosphate uses the enzyme selenophosphate synthetase. So the enzyme that is responsible here is the selenophosphate synthetase to produce selenocysteine as a product. Okay. So ayun. So again, we only have 20 amino acid that is required by our body in order for to make enzymes necessary for reaction, in order to make the collagen also necessary but needed in our body. And these 20 enzymes, 8 of which are essential, nutritionally essential amino acids, so meaning they should be in the diet because our body cannot make them. And if we try to make this eat, it will involve a lot of energy considering the several number of enzymes required for the certain amino to form the certain amino acid. Whereas the nutritionally non-essential, the other 12 of the 20, so this can be made by our body from intermediates. So one intermediate is from the citric acid cycle, the alpha-ketoglutarate. So another intermediate is from the glycolysis, the end product, the pyruvate, and another intermediate is the 3-phosphoglycerate. So those three serves as an intermediate in forming the non-essential amino acid. And our body is capable of making them because it only takes one enzyme to make those non-essential amino acid. So as a summary, all vertebrates can form certain amino acid. So as I have mentioned this already, from amphibolic intermediates or from other dietary amino acids. So from the essential, nutritionally essential amino acid, so our body can make the non-essential amino acids. So as I have said, intermediates, the intermediates and the amino acid to which they give rise are alpha-ketoglutarate. So alpha-ketoglutarate give rise to glutamate, glutamine, proline, hydroxyproline. And oxaloacetate can give rise to aspartate, and asparagine and 3-phosphoglycerate can give rise to serine and glycine. So cysteine, tyrosine, and hydroxylysine are formed from nutritionally essential amino acids. Diba? Tyrosine is from phenylalanine, diba? As mentioned earlier. So serine provides the carbon skeleton and homocysteine, the sulfur for cysteine biosynthesis. So in scurvy, so this is a disease that results from a deficiency of vitamin C, impaired hydroxylation of the peptidyl proline and peptidyl lysine results in a failure to provide the substrates. So kasi nga, ang ascorbic acid or vitamin C or ascorbate is needed as a substrate for the cross-linking of maturing collagen. So part siya along with the other enzymes. So phenylalanine hydroxylase converts phenylalanine to tyrosine. So since the reaction catalyzed by this mixed function oxidase is irreversible, so tyrosine cannot give rise to phenylalanine. So tyrosine is an essential amino acid because this is not a reversible reaction. So phenylalanine, we can make phenylalanine, but we cannot make tyrosine. And neither dietary hydroxyproline nor hydroxylysine is incorporated into proteins because no codon or tRNA dictates their insertion into peptides. So we have to make this hydroxyproline and hydroxylysine. Also, peptidyl hydroxyproline and hydroxylysine are formed by hydroxylation of peptidyl proline or lysine in reactions catalyzed by mixed function oxidases that require vitamin C as cofactor. So this was already mentioned earlier. And selenocysteine, an essential active site residue in several mammalian enzymes, arises by co-translational insertion from a previously modified tRNA. So selenocysteine, actually this is just an additional, as I have said, amino acid. And this is important also that we should give importance also to this amino acid because they are found in several enzymes in our body. So that's why we also have to consider selenocysteine. Okay. Okay. Okay, so that's the end of the chapter because basically, as I have said, it's a very short topic again. So, any questions? So, naintindihan? Actually, for today, our topic was the introduction to you of the amino acid, the essential and non-essential amino acid. For tomorrow, we will start with the catabolism na of the proteins. So, it's the breakdown of the proteins. So, today, yun lang naman ang only one chapter. So, do you have any questions, clarifications? Wala? Wala.
Okay.
Oo, sige. So tomorrow, mas longer ang ating chapter kasi ngayon, a few pages lang kasi yun. Okay?
Dr. Alita,
Yes po, Doc.
your topic tomorrow will be the
Catabolism po, Doc.
metabolism. Okay, since you have time, I will just have some things to talk about the essential and the non-essential amino acid. Okay?
Apo.
All right. Now, class, if you remember what Dr. Alita said, the hydroxylation of your lysine and your proline is very, very important in the synthesis of collagen. Now we know that collagen is the most abundant protein of the body, and almost all tissues contains collagen. And very, very important is to know that your blood vessels, especially the arteries, are mostly made up of collagen. So what is the implication of this? When we say vitamin C is very, very important in collagen formation. So if you are lacking in vitamin C, naturally your collagen could not be formed well because hydroxylation would have been diminished unless OH are formed, and we know that the OH is needed for the hydrogen bonding of your collagen fibers. And so what happens would be that the collagen fiber, the collagen in your blood vessel becomes weakened if we have a weak collagen protein in our blood vessels, especially the arteries. And so what happened? We know that your arteries is always under stress because of the heartbeat. Every time your heart beats, this is propagated from the big arteries, the aorta, down to the smallest arteriole. So, if your blood vessel is weakened because you do not have a strong collagen, most likely you will have cracks. No? Especially, and the intima will not be smooth anymore, the intima of the blood vessel. And if the intima is not smooth, most likely, the next thing will happen is that your platelets will break. when they come up with or come in contact with rough surfaces in the blood vessel. So if they break, you know what's going to happen, blood clotting. And we cannot afford to have that, blood clots in our blood vessel. Okay? So this is just the relation or the importance of vitamin C in your collagen. And this is what's going to happen. In fact, Dr. Rath, who is pioneering in this, what you call localized scurvy of the blood vessel. You see? Localized scurvy of the blood vessel. And which, of course, brings about hypertension because the rough area inside your blood vessel, the intima, which is roughened, have to be smoothed out. Now, it is just like your street where there are there are holes there in the street. So it becomes a rough street, rough road. No? So what does the DPWH do? They're going to pave it. And what do they pave it with? Asphalt to make it smooth, correct? And our blood vessel has the ability to do that. And they utilized the oxidized LDL to smooth out the rough area in the intima of the blood vessel. Now, what does LDL contain? Cholesterol, correct? So cholesterol is used as a paving area, a paving substance. It paves, so meaning to make it smooth again. Yes, because cholesterol is smooth. But the problem with cholesterol is it is also sticky. So what's going to happen? The form elements of the blood, RBC, WBC, can stick to the sticky area or the sticky patch. And it becomes roughened again. So another LDL would be used to pave it. So what's going to happen is the intima is growing. And so you have an atherosclerotic plaque, narrowing the blood vessel, narrowing the lumen of the blood vessel. And as a result, you need to have a high pressure to push that blood through the blood vessel. And that's how you get your hypertension. And the culprit is not the cholesterol. The culprit is vitamin C because it was not there. No? So that's why Dr. Rath called it localized scurvy of the blood vessel. That's hypertension. Okay? Can you get the correlation? Vitamin C, important in hydroxylation. What are those enzymes involved? Lysyl hydroxylase and prolyl hydroxylase. In fact, if you look at the amino acid content of your collagen fibers, there are so many of your proline residue and your lysyl residue, as well as glycine. As well as your glycine. So the prolyl residue and the lysyl residue is hydroxylated with their corresponding hydroxylases with the aid of vitamin C or ascorbic acid, without which these two enzymes cannot work. Okay? So you need to have adequate amount of vitamin C, especially during this time of the pandemic, where we have also to increase our immune system. And we know that vitamin C can boost our immune system. So that would mean that during this time, we will have to increase our vitamin C intake. Then you'll ask, how much would be appropriate amount of vitamin C? You can go to as high as 2,000 milligrams. You can go to as high as 2,000 milligrams. Now, if you get diarrhea because of 2,000 milligrams, you taper it to 1,500 milligrams. Because usually if you have a very, very high intake of vitamin C, diarrhea comes in. But if you are going to taper it down, the diarrhea will stop. In fact, some internists gives a high dose of vitamin C to those who are constipated. Okay, so you have now the connection of vitamin C to your collagen. Very, very important. That protein is very, very important because it is found in almost all tissues. And we need to have a very strong collagen. And the only way to have that is for the hydroxylation of your proline and your lysine so that hydrogen bonding will be made. The more hydrogen bonds, the more stronger your collagen fibers. And now we know that collagen is found in greater amount in your arteries. Not so much with our veins, because vein does not have any stress. No? It does not have any stress. There is no atherosclerosis there in the veins. However, if the vein, like the saphenous vein, is used as a bypass, you know what's a bypass, no? Whenever you have heart problems with your, when you have myocardial infarction, so you myocardial infarct, we remove that infarcted artery and replace it with the saphenous vein. You know where that saphenous vein is. Now, this saphenous vein, because it is now under stress, because now it is receiving, it is working as an artery, so it received the stress coming from the beating of the heart to push that blood through that saphenous vein used as a bypass. And if the collagen fibers there is not strong, then you will have atherosclerosis again. That's going to happen. So that is just the connection. No, you connect and connect and connect everything. Okay. All right. I think that's my input there, just for the emphasis of that vitamin C, especially for collagen synthesis. Okay? Dr. Lita, there is no more input.
So far, Doc, okay na.
Well, tomorrow.
Yes po.
Tomorrow.
Okay, Doc. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you too for the very good lecture that you have.
Thank you, Doc. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you po,
Thank you,
Doc.
Doc.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you po,
Thank you, Doc.